Welcome to Just Talks. I'm Justin Neely. Co-hosting with me is my guy Jason.
What up?
And today, our special guest from Framingham, Mass, point guard for the Great Danes, Amir Lindsey.
What's good? What's good?
Welcome to the show, bro. Appreciate you.
So the only team left in the NFL that's winless is the Jacksonville Jaguars, the worst part of your Florida state, it looks like.
Well, I mean, I'm a Finns fan, you know.
But Tua's hurt, so we can't really credit anything that's happening right now.
Yeah, they're definitely struggling last game. You could see, I saw clips all over Instagram of the sidelines. Tyreek Hill frustrated. Mike McDaniel's just, it's a tough situation they're in, but,
I've been saying that he should never have the extension. I said on the podcast, and we see why. He's a one-trick pony. It's it's pathetic. And I think that they should have been better prepared for the situation because obviously Tyler Huntley, Snoop, as good as you aren't going to be the answer to make us the playoffs. So, they didn't. And he looks like, they got him, I think, the week before that he ended up playing. And yeah, he knew none of the playbook. He just looked like a deer in headlights. Like he didn't know what was going on. And Skylar Thompson, they gave him a fake injury, so he didn't have to play, but he at least knows the playbook, but he sucks. That doesn't help. So the problem is one guy knows the playoffs but sucks, and the other guy doesn't know the playbook, and you just throw him out there. So it's a bad situation. You see teams like the Packers and the Colts and the Panthers who are all well prepared. Andy Dalton is doing great with them. Joe Flacco's very good with the Colts, and Malik Willis won with the Packers. So you see all these teams that can handle these situations with a backup quarterback, and Miami just doesn't know what they're doing. So
I'm going to go back because I said this a few shows ago. You think Dolphins go get Bryce Young?
What do you think his price is? If it's as cheap as Malik Willis is, then yes, but I don't think it is.
I think they'll have to get him for a discount.
What's the discount? Is it going to be like a Justin Fields, like second round pick? Or was it going to be more than that?
Nah, we could probably go for that.
That's crazy. Think about it. This guy was the number one overall pick.
Just look at his record. I know you're playing for, the Panthers and, bad situation for him, I guess. But, I think he needs to get somewhere else.
You both are players. You're telling me that when you get drafted, right, coming straight from college, you expect to be pro ready in a year?
Absolutely not. It definitely takes time to develop.
It just seems like, you got to give this guy a few years, let him break it in. I don't know. I can't. If they trade him for a second, I'll be happy to take it because his upside is going to be so high because you don't know what you're going to get from him. He could be MVP quarterback for all we know. It's like, he's just getting used to the rhythm. I mean, it's so much faster paced. Like, if I put you in an NBA game right now, you're gonna be looking like you don't know what's going on.
I don't know about all that. I feel like he's
he might get a couple bucks
on that one. Yeah.
You think so? No, you think you'd score 10 points in an NBA game?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm not in high school. I've been in college for 4 years.
10 points in an NBA game.
I'm going to go for 30.
There's NBA players.
Okay, 30 you guys. But
30 is insane.
I could definitely score at least 15 in an NBA game. Right
at
now.
least 15 is insane. I am sorry.
I can guarantee lock that.
Is so much different.
Yeah, the court's way bigger, opened up, yeah. And guys aren't really guarding like that unless
but you're saying if you play 40 minutes.
How many minutes?
That's what I was going to say. Because if you have 10 minutes, you're not scoring 15 points.
No, 10 minutes.
Scoring 15 in 10 minutes?
That's what I'm saying. That's the point is what I'm trying to say.
But if you have 40 points. The team, and there's a whole lot of other factors to play into it. But I'm saying 40 minutes. I'm in the game 40 minutes. I'm definitely scoring 15 points.
Definitely.
100%, hands down. Corner three.
You're not getting. You think they're not going to let you get open? It's going to be tough.
I know. I'm a tight closeout. So.
All right. You know what? That's a hot take. Honestly,
that's a hot take.
15. It's NBA.
All right.
That's NBA.
Note it here. Yeah. Note it here.
Like, you
don't believe
I know. I put it this way.
11 shows in, and he says crazy. I can't score 15 points in NBA.
Put it this way.
All right, so my first game in the league, I'm going to just send you the stats after.
Yes, because, we've seen Wembanyama struggle in his first summer league game.
Dunked on in his first.
Exactly. And you're saying straight out the gate, 15 points.
Lock and stock.
That's like MVP. That's definitely rookie of the year status right there. Straight out the gate.
Speaking it into the universe.
Because how I look at it.
I'm going for 30. I just said that.
30 in your first
30
game.
Is nuts. Okay. 30, you're the greatest rookie of all time.
That's the greatest debut in NBA history.
That's like Zion's debut. I remember when he went off his first game.
I'm not worried about Zion.
Wait a second. You're 5'10", and you're saying you're not worried about Zion?
We're not worried about Zion.
What are you doing on Zion at 5'10"? You're gonna
jab jab chicken.
Jab chicken wop.
Jab chicken wop. Get out the net.
Every time.
Word.
Well, anyway, the second was the winless Jags. I don't know where we got from that.
Yeah,
but
my bad.
anyway, the thing about the Jags had high hopes. They're supposed to be a playoff team. Now 0-3. I'm 0-4, yeah, sorry. Now 0-4. I think it's safe to say their season is pretty much over. It's almost impossible for an 0-4 team to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially in the conference they're in, it's still tough. Texans obviously, have been very good as of late. Stroud's been awesome, great receivers. Now, the thing is that I really want to know is they have so much talent. Where do you go from here? You have T-Law, who is a former number 1 pick. You have Travis Etienne, who's a first-round pick. You have BTJ they just got in the first round. Christian Kirk, star wide receiver. And it's like Ingram's another Pro Bowl tight end. What else can they really do in the offseason to get the team better? Or you just fire the coach and restart.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have enough talent. Something got to change, whether it's management or players. When you look at the next 3 games, they got Colts, the Bears, and the Patriots. So you think it's just completely over for them?
Put it this way, to make the playoffs, you have to pretty much only lose 6 games. They're at 4. So that means they're only allowed to lose 2 games the rest of the season. And, I mean, they've looked awful for the first 4 games. So what makes you think they're just going to turn it around? And when you said a management decision, I don't see them firing their GM because they have so much talent for a reason. He's been doing a great job. I think they just fire the coaching staff, get new coaches, and honestly, as crazy as it sounds, they have a year or 2 left, or T-Law might be on the hot seat, which is crazy because he's probably one of the highest rated high school recruits come out of high school, 5-star, and he went to Clemson they said he was going to be better than Deshaun Watson. Yeah. And he was arguably better than Deshaun Watson. And that's, Clemson and Deshaun Watson go hand in hand. Like, he was the face of college football, and T-Law ended up becoming the face of college football. But, I mean, if you can't make the playoffs again, I mean, he made the playoffs last year and the year before, in the year before that. But, I mean, it's getting close to where it's like, we're going to have to go in a new direction, or just maybe it's a situation. Maybe the coaching staff doesn't work and he has to try somewhere else out. I'm sure another team will give him a chance.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, I'm sorry for your Go Blue fans here, but Michigan sucks. It's just that simple. Their first quarterback struggled their first 2 weeks, got benched. Now they have Alex Orji at the helm, and it doesn't seem like it's getting better. This guy is a scrambling quarterback with 12 rushing yards and 9 attempts. That is not a running quarterback by any means. And they only beat Minnesota by 3, which is a sorry-ass Big Ten program.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just gave the numbers right there. It's not looking good. And the schedule's not getting easier.
It's not. Minnesota sucks. Yeah. Arkansas State sucks.
They got Illinois at Illinois, Oregon at Indiana, and their last game of the season is at Ohio State.
But that's what I'm saying. Their easiest part, their first half was very, very friendly to them besides Texas. And let's be honest here. Arkansas State should have been a blowout game. And Minnesota, we can go on the basketball side of things, the football side of things. When is Minnesota considered a top Big Ten program? Definitely not. They're not Penn State. They're not Ohio State. They're not even Iowa. Like, let's be honest here. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, they're not. I don't know the last time they were top 5 in Big Ten. I mean, even like Rutgers, I would consider a better program than them in both sides of the sport. We've seen Rutgers at least make some March Madness runs, but I mean, Minnesota. You can't be Minnesota by 3. That game should be a blowout. But like I said, Alex Orji can't run the ball as a scrambler, and he can't throw the ball. I mean, he had 86 passing yards.
Yeah, that's definitely not good. That's not going to beat Ohio State.
It's a bad game.
To be honest with you.
Something very surprising is Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards was a Heisman favorite, and he looks like the backup running back at Michigan. It looks like their other running back had 112 yards that game. That wasn't Donovan Edwards. And Donovan Edwards on the cover of College Football 25, and he's the backup now in that realm. So it seems like I don't care they're 10th in the rankings. It means nothing because they suck. It's that simple. Who really cares if you're top 10 if you're not going to win these hard games? It's that simple. I mean, they're fraudulent.
You think there he is. Michigan's the frauds on today's episode.
What?
You think they're going to finish still in top top 25, top 20.
No,
No.
not even close.
Okay, so out of the four games that I mentioned, which are the only games against top 25 opponents, Illinois, Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State. What do you think?
It was all of them.
All of them. What were the four?
I
They
don't.
might get Indiana.
Indiana's undefeated, so I can't say they're gonna. I mean, I can't.
Michigan is sorry. I can't lie. Yeah, they're sorry. They're sorry.
Illinois just got their loss this week to Penn State, but Penn State's a great program. Like these teams have shown me something. What has Michigan shown? They could beat Arkansas State by 10. That's what they've shown us. Like what? They could beat Fresno State, who lost to UConn. UConn's not a football program.
I mean, we look at Indiana's wins, though. Charlotte, UCLA, Western Illinois.
Damn's taking shots at UCLA. That's tough.
They beat them 42-13.
Yeah, but that shows. Put it as Michigan's not win. Michigan has a loss.
4-1, I guess.
I'm just saying this. Michigan has a loss, and Indiana hasn't proven anything to think that they're not supposed to be where they are. I can't start hating on every team. Trust me, I was close to putting Miami in the fraudulent account.
Oh, don't do that.
But they got
ready
lucky.
for you.
They got lucky. No offense, but that was a touchdown for Virginia Tech.
We could talk
Ball
about
didn't
it.
touch the ground.
I mean, according to the rules, it should have been a touchdown.
Exactly.
But
according to the rules, that should be
you're
a touchdown.
in Miami,
Playing Cam Ward.
and you're playing Cam Ward.
Well, I pretty much, let's be
The
honest here.
U is back.
I pretty much what happened was I think it was a more of a political thing where they had to protect Cam Ward in Miami because
Absolutely.
they have a chance. Virginia Tech season's over. They're 2-3. Nobody cares about them. No offense. Enter Sandman and their intro is awesome. You know, great traditions, great sports school. But this is not their season. This is Miami's season.
I think the initial ruling on that play was wrong. It should have been
Incomplete?
incomplete.
It should have been ruled incomplete, and then they went.
Then they could have.
Then they could have changed.
See, what was very fishy is when they called it a touchdown, and when they said it was overturned, they said incomplete. It was overturned. It was an incomplete pass. They never say that. What they say is it was incomplete pass because they didn't have 2 feet in bounds. It was incomplete pass because you need 100% evidence.
Oh, they definitely didn't have the evidence of that.
And that's why you can't overturn that. It's that simple. And like I said, I thought it was clear. It hit the guy's lap on Miami. He picked it over his lap. Touchdown. It's a great example of it is the Seahawks Super Bowl when they played the Patriots. Jermaine Kearse. He kind of was wobbling up in the air and somehow fell on his lap, and they called it completion. So as long as the ball it's a live ball, as long as it doesn't hit the ground, and that it was bad awareness by Miami. He should just once it hit his leg, he should have knocked it out. Yeah,
of bounds.
Well, not slapped it up. You have to slap it.
Out.
Yeah, down. You can't because God forbid that, and that's another situation.
That's another situation.
But
sure.
yeah, I mean, you got lucky this week. You got to be better next week.
We got Cal coming up next. Gonna go smack them. Bringing game day to Cal for the first time ever.
That's insane. That's happening. Now, a big thing that I wanted to bring this up was because of what David Portnoy from Barstool said, how he's willing to pay $3 million in NIL money to get Michigan a quarterback. Now, for me, this seems like college football is going to be pay to win at this point. It's going to be the biggest fans that are rich, the multi-million fans just buying teams at this point.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at a team like Miami, that roster wasn't like recruited just, phone calls.
But that was from the school.
That team was bought. Miami's the same way.
No, but that was school funded.
For
Miami. They gave the NIL money.
Yeah, but who gave the money to the school?
Now we're hearing celebrities announce that they'll make NIL payments for players.
Yeah,
is that illegal?
That's the same thing.
Because
they're boosters.
Oh, boosters.
They're boosters.
But we've never seen it to this level before. And now I think this is going to be awful for small schools
definitely for small schools. Because the bigger schools are going to get the players,
I think it's going to be all college sports in general, though.
It's going to be all college sports. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think this is, I don't know if it's necessarily good. It's good for the players, but I don't know if it's good for the game because you're not going to be able to see upsets like you do now. I mean, you're not going to see programs get rebuilt like now. I mean, or Absolutely. Like the last decade. And I think that's scary to see. Like, think about it. I mean, we've seen what schools have been able to do. And let's be honest, your colleges are cheap. They try to pay players as little as they can. Once you get celebrities into it, the money's going to be flowing.
Well, you look at the UNLV quarterback who left.
Yes.
Yeah, the same week, a casino in Las Vegas offered to pay him the $100,000.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. The money's going to be ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Like we're going to see like Bama's going to be better than they've ever been.
Yeah,
we're going to see Georgia better. Like it's going to be unfortunate for smaller schools. I'm really hoping that the celebrities or alma maters of these smaller schools and start funding them, because I mean, think about it. It's kind of crazy to think about, but it's really. They make a lot of revenue, these school colleges, but it's not that much you have to give the players if you think about it. Like if
that's
you're
nothing.
Like if Bezos wanted to, he could make a super team for any college he wanted to.
Well, insider, his son is attending University of Miami. Yeah. So what do you think that's about to turn into?
I mean, if he starts getting involved, I mean,
you got unlimited money. You got unlimited money, like organs money. You know,
I think they like. $2 to $3 million gets you a 5-star quarterback, or at least it used to.
I mean, I can't talk numbers, but you know, Cam Ward's evaluation was like 1.5 to 2 mil. You know what I'm saying? And I'm guaranteed he got that to go to Miami.
Exactly, and like I said, yeah, like David Portnoy just threw out $3 million.
Yeah,
and David Portnoy, no offense to him, isn't in the top 1% of the richest of people. I mean, he's a decent amount of money. I think it's close to like 100 million around there, but think about it. There's a lot, like Taylor Swift. There's a lot of billionaires, a lot. Jay-Z, like think about it. Like there's a lot of money to go around, and it's crazy. It's honestly at this point, I was having this talk with actually Sheldon earlier. It was, when do you really consider college like a pro? Like it's starting to become a profession at this point.
I think it's already.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
You know, and it's like creeping into high school too. Like in Florida, it's the same NIL rules that are applying. Like for college, it's high school basketball. You can get paid through NIL now.
Because usually when they say pro sports, you think of NFL, NBA. But to me, I'm like, I got to stop saying that, because college is really starting to be like a profession at this point. Because put it this way, if you're making $3 million to play a sport, that's easily a profession. Like you're getting paid more than most jobs in the world. So to me, college is this is gonna be huge for college in general, because I think a lot more players are really gonna be taking college more serious than they ever did, because now
it's gonna be more. The talent's gonna stay in college as well, because
like,
they can cash out more than they'll make as being a pro.
Like I think one and done culture is gonna get shut down. Why? Absolutely. Think about it. The leash in the NFL and NBA is way shorter than in college.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's big
NBA
to know.
Careers is expected 3 years?
Exactly. So if you're getting $3 million in college, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is why I think one and done culture is going to stop, because you get this blanket, because let's say you get hurt. Oh, well, we'll give you next season. Right. And the NBA, you get hurt, we'll look into it. We'll see what happened.
If you don't perform for
exactly.
Year, now you're out the league. Which no, right to China.
Yeah. No, to Taiwan now. Taiwan. But that's what I'm saying is I think that players are going to really start thinking more thinking smarter and saying, oh, let's take college as an option, because it's a better chance we can have this turn into longevity.
Absolutely. And for this segment, we had to bring in Jacob Cruz, our editor, for his strong opinions and takes on the Knicks situation.
And producer. Gotta give him that credit.
Yeah, he does it. He's really the man with the plan. Like, he really does it all.
All right, so this topic we're bringing in is the Knicks and Timberwolves trading Cat for Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and the Pistons for a strong pick, which is very interesting because obviously we know the Pistons aren't going to do anything crazy. And now the Knicks don't have much draft capital. So this is it. This is their team, and this is, they have no money as well. So this is going to be what their roster is going to be looking like. Now, I don't understand the Timberwolves' point of view here, because what do they get from this? You get a backup shooting guard, because obviously Ant's going to be the main guy. And you get Julius Randle, who really hasn't performed well in the last, he's been hurt for a while. And also you have to remember, he's kind of like the man. Like when he was in the Knicks, he was the one option. I don't think he's going to be able to start being like the number 3 guy with the Timberwolves. And I think it's going to be a problem. I think that they just threw their chances of a championship out the window. I mean, now from the Knicks perspective, they just finished their roster. You have, I don't know if Cat's going to be a 4 or 5. I don't know, because Mitchell Robinson's probably going to be the 5. Yeah. So you have him at the 4. Then you have, obviously Then you obviously have Brunson at the 1, and you have Bridges at the 2, and then OG at the 3. Or it depends. You could flip them both. But OG is going to be the 3, I think, and 2 is going to be Bridges. And then you got Josh Hart as a 6-man, which is probably one of the greatest 6 men in the league because he could do anything.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", I think, and he plays 1 through 5. It's that simple.
He was playing 48 minutes a game.
Exactly. And now he's a 6-man.
Yeah.
Which is huge for them. I no offense to DiVincenzo, but he wasn't the most consistent player. We've seen him, obviously use 7 for 9 for 3, but then he'd go 3 for 12 the next game. But and they have 3-point shooting with McBride. And if they wanted to get back a 3-point shooter, there's so many old veterans that would just love to sit in the corner and just start shooting. So I think this is a great trade for the Knicks. And now we will give the mic over to Jacob.
Yeah, so, I think every Knick fan, when they first saw the trade, was like, bro, no way we just traded away Dante. Like, that's our guy. He was carrying us for, the 3-point end of things in the end of the season. But I don't know. After, a day or two passed, you kind of look at it like Dante was not going to get much playing time compared to how he did last season. Because, you have McBride at the same position, and they both can't play point guard. McBride he's a catch-and-shoot player.
Exactly.
Dante can kind of make space for himself, but even he's not that guy to run the offense.
More of a spot-up kind of player.
And he could move to small forward if it wasn't more of that scoring type of play, but nah, he's a shooting guard. And when I think about his move to the Timberwolves, that's where I get confused. I'm kind of happy about this for the Knicks because Karl-Anthony Towns, he speaks for himself.
I think the Knicks won this trade.
Yeah. Cat, arguably the greatest shooting big of all time. You could make some debates for Dirk but he's up there. One of the better 3-point shooters in the league in general. He was in the 3-point contest, did amazing. Mm-hmm. And that value is great. Rebounder, big man, 7-footer. Knicks need him. Timberwolves lose big chemistry guy, longest tenured player, I believe, on their team.
Yeah. 9 years.
Yeah, that hurts, especially because your best player, Anthony Edwards, was they were boys, and then you take that away from him. That hurts. But it's not like they don't have a roster. The only problem is I don't know where DiVincenzo fits in besides that 6th, 7th man role. He's not going to get in the starting lineup. He's not going over Mike Conley because he can't play point guard. He's not going over.
He's not that good of a defender either.
Yeah, no, he's a bench player. It's that simple.
Yeah, Dante plays good defense in the Knicks system, but as for on ball, I don't think he can guard guys like Devin Booker,
Shout out D-Book.
Yeah, shout out D-Book. I gotta give him love because he gets hated too much.
He does get hated too much, especially this podcast.
I think as for positions, I know you mentioned Josh Hart as the 6th man, but I think he is still going to do a lot of starting.
And who is he going to take over?
He can play 2 through 4.
Well, so you got to remember,
but Bridges is the 2.
Guys aren't going to be healthy.
I'm saying in a perfect world. This is how I made this because that's kind of how I have to treat it. Same thing, especially you in Albany. That lineup's whatever your starting lineup is now is gonna change.
Absolutely.
Third game in.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in a perfect world, this is the starting 5.
Right.
I think if you have a perfect team in the playoffs,
that's kind of what I have to predict. You can't presume injuries.
Realistically, you can kind of assume load management. You're not gonna have Mitchell Robinson, he's a big boy, right?
He's hurt a lot.
He has ankle
Coming
problems.
off injury.
He's not playing 82 games. That's not happening.
I would love to see it.
We're probably gonna see Mitchell Robinson play 50
to 60
games.
I hate this mindset. To me, it's I want everybody healthy all the time.
Not because of injury, but because of prevention.
Just
body.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how they are in the season. If they start off slow, then they're going to have to plan.
Yeah.
It's that simple. The NBA we've seen isn't predictable. You've seen crazy things happen. I forgot what team was last. Oh, the Thunder. There was no shot I thought the Thunder were going to be one of the greatest teams in the league. That roster on paper was good. It wasn't great.
One of the youngest team in the league as well.
I'm a Celtics fan.
Oh,
okay.
No.
It don't really matter about the trade because y'all not even coming close to what we got going on.
That's insane. I think they're the best team. I think the Knicks are now the team to beat in the East.
I think they're definitely contending with the Celtics for that one spot right now. After that trade.
I don't love Cat. I don't feel like he...
Is he soft?
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, a lot of people saying he's too soft. But he's not a 5. He's a 4.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson is going to be the 5 when healthy because he's a lot more of a rebounder than Cat is.
Shot block.
And we all,
I like Porzingis more than Cat. Healthy, both of them healthy. I like Porzingis.
Yeah, but when's the last time Porzingis played a full season?
Yeah.
He was in the playoffs, and then now he played a majority of the playoffs.
I know he's hurt for a
he
while.
got hurt
He's hurt
in the
now.
second round, I believe he's still
not-
hurt right
yeah,
now. He's
not
missing
even
like the
healthy.
first 2 months of the
Yeah.
season.
Oh yeah,
His knee is just.
Wait, so you're telling me if you're the Knicks, you would trade Cat for Porzingis if it was an option?
If that was an option,
I think no shot.
A healthy Porzingis, would you trade him from the Celtics for Cat?
No,
No,
I'm not.
no.
No. I'm saying if you're the Knicks, because I don't think the Knicks should do that, because I think Mitchell Robinson does more of Porzingis' job,
Right.
and I think Cat brings something completely different to the team. So, because when you were saying you rather Porzingis on the Knicks, I don't know where he fits in.
No, I was saying
Not with this team.
I like the matchup with Porzingis versus the Knicks.
But if it's
With
a healthy
Cat.
Knicks, it's not going to be Cat versus Porzingis. It's going to be Mitchell Robinson and Porzingis, and I think Mitchell Robinson, it's
he's just
right
more,
up
he's
in
more
there.
physical. He's
That's
definitely- he's
So
definitely more
I mean, him
physical.
and Porzingis can really battle that out. I don't even know who would win that. Now, another thing I want to say that's important is Karen Payne's not no scrub,
Right.
and he's kind of be the backup point guard, I think, because I really do like him at the point. He's great at facilitating. He's not he's not going to do anything crazy. He's a smaller guard, but he's good at facilitating and he knows his role and he's a good defender for being as short as he is. Now, that's important to realize. And another thing that's important to realize on the Timberwolves side is that so you were saying about how, what's his name, that Dominic DiVincenzo isn't going to start. Now, my thing about it is, so are they starting to get into a mode of if they have a bad start, are they just going to tank? Like if they lose 20, like if they have a bad first start,
Timberwolves?
because it doesn't make sense for this Dominic DiVincenzo.
I think with the
if
roster, a healthy Timberwolves roster like they had last year is capable of going to the
yes,
finals.
I agree. But
With
let's say
this
Ant
team,
goes
I
down.
I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering.
this
If
team.
Ant goes down, do they call it a season earlier than we think? Because my thing is this: they set themselves up to where they can be better next season than this season.
Right.
This is going to be the best season we see the Timberwolves. And I mean, you have to remember Jaden McDaniels is young. They have a lot of young talent.
Nas Reed.
Yeah, Nas Reed. Nas Reed is going to be their number one guy at the 5. I mean, people have. You think he's the 4?
He's a 4.
Yeah,
Then
Rudy Gobert.
5. Oh, Rudy Gobert sucks. Well, no. We saw in the playoffs. We saw Nas take over Gobert's spot.
He can sub
he's
in
a
for
better
the 5.
player
Yeah,
than Gobert.
He's considered their backup for the 4 and the 5.
Yeah. So I was just putting him in, 4 or 5. He's both, but he's definitely a better rebounder than Cat, obviously. But that's not really part of the debate. But the thing I'm trying to say here is, Cat obviously is in his prime, and still very young. I wouldn't even consider him in his prime yet, which is crazy.
Not yet.
No.
So, but that's what I'm saying. So if I'm them, do I say we're getting the Pistons pick, which should be top 5? So do we? And we have. I think they have. I'm pretty sure they have their first round pick. Do we take a step back, get like 2 top 5 picks, and arguably have the greatest young core in the NBA? Because think about it. If they go right now, their team's not better than they were last season, and I think that's important to realize. Because I don't know if this team...
It turned into a make or break kind of situation.
That's what I'm saying.
If that happens and they don't win, then the team's
I think
going to break.
I think this trade was made for the protection of it. Because you can dump Randall.
Yeah.
That's not...
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
old. He just
he's-
old.
That's
That's why I didn't
that's why-
understand the trade. He's just...
because that's the only way it was going to go
he's just-
through.
It's now or never.
Well-
oh.
Well, I think it's the only way the trade gets done. Because the Knicks could not afford Cat with Julius Randle's money. That was clear.
Yeah.
So I think they did the trade for the pick and Dante. And also another thing to note, Dante didn't want to stay in New York after they got Bridges. That was clear. The Nova Knicks, I think, and that the reports are saying, was made more than what it really was. At the end of the day, Dante wants to start and play basketball and get as many minutes as he can.
Absolutely.
So he didn't want that back role, even though that's what he's getting in the Timberwolves.
He's not going to start over. in
I know, but I'm saying
either.
either way, he didn't like the situation. So somebody who's unhappy being a backup, it's great to ship him off. That's great. Think about it. When you get a backup player, you want them to be okay being the backup. That's the whole point. Yeah. That's why you see like J.R. Smith, for example, when he became a backup, or Kyle Korver, or those kinds of players where it's like, you know what? They're okay with their situation, and that makes the team even better because they're not being a distraction. I mean, Dante, for example, I don't even know how long the Knicks could have kept him as a backup. I don't know how long the Timberwolves can keep him.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
that's what I'm saying.
He should be a starting shooting guard.
That's what I think he's going to want.
Yeah, somewhere, bro. Like, name any of like the bottom 15 teams and he's carrying them. Like he has that capability. It's just like, well, now he's on the team with the best player in his position.
He'd be scary.
Like, what are you going to do? Like
him and Cade.
Pistons?
I was thinking about the
that'd be-
Pistons.
that'd be a
I
good-
like that. I like that a lot.
Sorry, Jaden, I have you put.
He could still get traded. So.
But
Yeah.
that's why I think, I honestly, if you're telling me, you're gonna call me crazy, but I think the main component of the trade was that pick. I
Right.
think that was it. I think they wanted to get rid of Cat and get that Pistons pick because that Pistons pick is gold. So I think that's kind of what happened here. I think that they're gonna come back strong. I think we see the Timberwolves in 3 years. They should be the best team in the NBA.
I'm curious to see what the main lineup for the Knicks ends up being, because I mean you have Jalen, right? But then the shooting guard is because you had Mikal Bridges, who was playing a very offensive role on
Yes,
the Nets because
yes.
he was their main scorer.
Well, Cam Thomas
Cam
as well.
Thomas is
Cam Thomas could be 50 at any point.
a lot more inconsistent.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
but he was the main guy back in Phoenix. He had a lot more of a defensive role, I would say. And I think on Thibodeau's Knicks, it's going to be kind of similar with the defense because, I mean, obviously you need him to score because it can't just be, the whole point is that it's not just Jalen every single time. It's like,
well, they're adding Cat. He can score the ball.
Yeah. So,
Well, I think Bridges is going to get 20 plus points a game, and he's going to be
yeah.
great defensively. That's kind of what he did with the Suns. Was like 15 to 20 area,
Yeah.
and I mean he was young with the Suns. You have to remember this is green prime Mikal.
Yeah, and with OG, right? He's somewhat injury prone, but like his injury isn't something that you're super scared of. It's not like a
Mitchell
lower.
Robinson.
It's an elbow. So I think that I'm not saying that Mikal and OG don't need to be on the floor at the same time together, but I feel like if they spread their time apart, it would be better because they kind of do a similar thing. OG, I think, is someone you just always put on their best player, unless they're like a point guard, but Giannis, Jokic, Embiid.
Yeah, no, he's the lead defender.
Still,
What?
you still put OG?
I'll put OG on anybody.
No, I mean if you talk about
Except for, like,
Giannis,
except for Curry, not
I put
Curry.
like
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson on Giannis.
I think
I definitely
Mitchell
put a
Robinson.
mobile big man on to guard Giannis.
You think so? Because
mobile
Giannis, I feel like
big,
is still slow.
Mitch can take
Yeah,
Embiid.
That's what I'm saying, like a bigger guy.
Like
Things like that.
Because like to me, Giannis is a 4, but
Yeah.
he has a speed of a 5. Like if I'm thinking like for example, I think OG like let's say if we're putting for example the Bucks, you want OG on Middleton. Middleton
Yeah,
could freaking shoot.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't put him on Giannis, I feel like you got to put.
Well, that's why you have Mikal. Because now with Mikal Bridges, you can put Mikal on someone like that. And
You
then
think so? I'd rather have OG cover Middleton. I don't think Mikal Bridges is a solid defender, but I don't think he's gonna cover him.
I mean, the way the Knicks play defense isn't very like.
Because if I'm
It's
doing
very
matchup,
help focused. It's very help focused. They'll have someone completely like mark someone if they're really that crazy. So like in the Philadelphia versus the Knicks series, they had Mitch on Embiid and he was locking him up.
yeah, because they didn't. But because that's what I'm saying. I
But
think,
like when Mitch got injured, they kind of figured it
no,
out.
then that's
Like,
when
this
you would
is
put
how
in.
this
like
is
an
how the
OG.
Knicks make mediocre defenders into good defenders. Jalen Brunson, decent defender, but he's
Mediocre's kind of crazy. He's a solid defender.
No,
He's
no,
an
but
average defender.
I mean like not typical on ball defenders.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah,
you,
he's not like a
think
Devin
defense,
Booker.
you don't
Like when
think
you
of-
make
From the
Jalen
perimeter.
Brunson, yeah, like the Knicks take Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, and these guys, and they make them work. Obviously, I still miss Hartenstein. Hartenstein was a big part of that
Yeah.
team. So that's probably another thing that should be mentioned here. It's like how can Cat fill the gap that Hartenstein?
It's gonna
left?
be tough.
It's gonna be hard though because I mean if you look at any film of the Knicks last season, it was Hardenstein at the top of the key every single time, getting the ball, having a screen, get Jalen the ball, he's already in the paint, get an offensive rebound every time. I don't know if Cat's the type of guy to do that, get the
Definitely
offensive
not.
board
He's not gonna
now.
do that. He needs to put shots up.
That's another unfortunate situation is Isaiah. I feel like worst thing is when he left the Knicks because think about it. Chet's the guy in the Thunder. I think he would have much more.
You got that money.
But put it this way, what I'm saying is, yes, he got the money, but he would have such more of a role with the Knicks. I think, honestly, him and Mitchell's roles would be 50-50 because they want to keep both of them
With
healthy.
this team.
With this team, because they would keep them both healthy. I think that's kind of like, you want to, big men go down so easily. It's nice to just have a healthy big man and to not overwork them because they'll get hurt. So I think, honestly, that's losing him, like you said, is going to be awful for them. And Jericho Sims is going to have to set up big time.
Yeah, Jericho Sims.
Because
I'm not
Westchester
That guy.
legend.
I might have to go back to Westchester, bro.
That's tough.
I think he played a couple minutes in the playoffs. And
No, that's what I'm saying. He's going to be their second 5. Think about it. Someone goes down, you have to put him in the lineup. Who else are you going to?
Yeah.
I want to involve Precious Achua more before we rely
Precious
on
is
think
super-
so?
I
But
think he's so
he can't-
underrated.
He's a
So
4. He's
So
not a
underrated.
5 though.
He can play.
That's
He
true.
played when he was in Miami. He was playing the 5.
You think he could? You think he'd play a 5 better than Jericho?
if he wants to play the 5.
They
That's
have,
the thing.
they have
'cause
options.
He wants to be a wing. You know, that was his game like through high school, and when he was at Memphis, he was able to play on the wing and dribble and all that stuff. But once he got to the league, his skill isn't, you know, the same as somebody else who's 6'10", 6'11". You know what I'm saying? So they kind of just threw him at the 5.
Yeah,
You're right.
You have Karl Anthony Towns. If they want to put Precious at 4 and have Cat at 5, and so they can
I think
split.
Cat's
time
better
with
as a 4. Because I'm telling you, defensive wise, Precious and Jericho I'd rather have than Cat. Cat is not a defensive defender.
I think if you have Mitch out, you'd need Josh Hart in.
I agree. I think Hart is a 6, right? So whoever gets hurt, Hart's going to fill in for, pretty much, unless it's Brunson. Like, let's be honest here. I don't know who else.
Don't mention that.
No, but seriously,
That's scary.
if anybody else gets hurt, Hart's going in the game. That's his role. But I was just I was assuming that already, and then the next guy up after that would be Precious, would be Jericho. And like I said, the 5 is the one position I wouldn't necessarily put Hart out for unless you moved Cat. Because, I mean, he's 6'4". Like, he's great at rebounding, right? He's awesome at that. Yeah. But I still rather a Precious and a Jericho going against an Embiid. As much as, I mean, no one has more heart than Hart for a reason. So I think it's that simple. But anyway, I think I'm done with this segment. I think we drilled this to the coffin.
Definitely chatting on this. Right? Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you. All right. So next thing I talk about is in the NFL world. Elijah Moore's dad posted on Twitter of shots that he was open. Now, as players yourself, how would you respond if this happened with your father?
Well, my dad definitely wouldn't tweet that out. I mean, what he said was 1 target the entire game. It makes sense. 95% open all the time. SMH. But I mean,
I'm speaking hypothetically. How would you react?
I definitely got to talk to him. I was like, yo, you can't be putting stuff out like that because people are looking at you, you know?
Got to be embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
Got to be a locker room stir.
Bad morale for the team.
Definitely.
Especially
if you're talking about one of my teammates.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
That's the thing is we've seen this so many times with receivers, and I think the problem with receivers is they're like these divas, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this happened before with Odell.
Odell, is a famous one.
Yeah, posted a video talking trash about Baker.
Yeah, which is crazy because Baker's balling right now.
Yeah, so.
It's happening a little bit right now with CD, actually.
Yeah.
He's a little getting a little frustrated on the sidelines with Dad.
Diggs, always Diggs.
Yeah.
He's always chirping. There's a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's a diva position. So I don't even know if they're upset necessarily because they're divas. It's that simple.
It's expected.
No, like seriously. Yeah. Like the fact Diggs demanded trade. Ayuk's another example. He tried to get out of San Francisco, and they're a Super Bowl contender every year. Who wants to leave that? Yeah. You know, it's all about them. Everything's about them, which is crazy because you think that'd be the quarterback, but quarterbacks usually are the most selfless people. Yeah. And it seems like the receivers are all the attention whores, which is kind of crazy. So I guess the hypothetical for you guys, you'd be upset?
Yeah, I definitely would be upset. Yeah. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah. I feel like there's gotta be a conversation between obviously the receiver and the quarterback.
Well, I also think it has to be a conversation between his parent and the receiver because I feel like your parent has to tell you, I'm about to tweet this.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a problem if that's the case because, they're doing what they're going to do anyway. We've seen, I think it was Des Bryant who was famous for his burner accounts. So,
Or KD.
Yeah, or KD. No,
KD burners.
Allegedly.
But
the point I'm trying to make out of is that, that kind of leaves stress from them if they wanted to let it out, but they don't want it to necessarily affect them take all the damage for it because the parents get some heat from it too. That makes sense. But if they're not talking to their kid and just posting it, that's just so selfish to me because you're ruining this relationship with their team, their coaches. You don't know what's going to be happening. I mean, I hate to say it, Elijah Moore, he's not the greatest receiver in the world. If I'm the Browns, I'm just like, all right, let's ship you off.
Take a seat.
Yeah, take a seat.
Come sit next to me. Sit next to me.
Let's be honest. Is he the 1 on the team? No. Is he the 2 on the team? No. He is their 3rd guy. Why would a 3rd option have the right to be talking like this? Because Amari Cooper is the 1, and they just got Jerry Jeudy, who's there too. So I don't understand why he would ever think he's in the right to be talking when he's not even a top 2 guy on the team. So they could easily just sit him down and say, all right, here's the bench. So I think a big thing with Diggs and all these superstars you guys were naming is they have so much power because they're the guy. he's not the guy in Cleveland. So I think he has zero leverage, and I think that's going to play out in the worst ways for him if he continues this up. Something very interesting. I'm not getting in trouble for this. AJ Griffin has retired for his religious beliefs, but I believe he retired for other reasons as well. Let's mind you, he barely played last season and had 2 points a game.
That's what I was thinking. I think
exactly.
It was more, his first year in the league, he had a pretty decent
year,
role,
8 points a game. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and then he got hurt.
Came back second year, and it just dropped completely where he wasn't playing. And it's a big mental challenge, I'm sure. Especially I know it's a challenge at the college level. Being playing and then having to sit and then just battling that adversity, you could call it, but. Yeah, I'm kind of siding with you, but if it's really, for religious beliefs, he wanted to be like a pastor, I believe, or something like that.
Full-time ministry.
Full-time ministry, yeah. I mean, I support him. He got to do what's best for him.
See, I want to believe that, but maybe it's, I'm just flawed as a person for coming to these conclusions. But, I mean, if you see someone not performing, that's what
it definitely raised some suspicions.
I should, obviously we should trust whatever someone says as, the truth. But I don't know, man. I mean,
he might have been in like a bad headspace, where he kind of needed to separate himself and maybe come back later. I mean, you look at
no.
You don't think he'll be
averaging 2 points a game? He's done. If
he's gonna
leaves.
Get an opportunity.
Where?
His dad's also
in China.
All right.
No, F China. He's got to go to Argentina or Colombia. He's not even allowed in Asia. Well, he's not that good.
I mean, you never know because you look at a guy like
he's playing Kai's basketball league, the LBA, with the 8-year-old kids.
8-year-old kids.
8-year-old kids. That's crazy. He's playing with Kai.
Yeah, he better play for overtime. No, it's all jokes, but for real, the NBA he's in something like people say. Famous saying, college is always an option. College is always calling. The NBA is not always calling. You leave the NBA and you're averaging 2 points a game.
I think someone else similar, it's not really similar situation, but you look at Jonathan Isaac, that plays for the Orlando Magic. He came in the league. He was supposed to be the next KD.
Yeah, he was a lottery pick.
Yeah, lottery pick. And then, got injured, didn't really bounce back the way he wanted to. Did the same thing. He has his own church in Orlando, books coming out, a whole bunch of stuff. And then, he had to take a break, honestly. It was like 2 years, came back, got hurt again, had to take another break, but he's still in the league now and he's doing well. He's one of the best defensive players in the NBA.
No, I'm sorry. I don't think it's a similar situation. I think Jonathan Isaac, I don't really compare the two. I mean, I know AJ Griffin was almost a lottery pick, but I mean, he was the 16th.
Okay.
But
that's damn near.
Sorry,
you're right though.
But no, but Jonathan Isaac was considered like one of the. I mean, I think he was top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big difference for me, at least, from a top 10 pick and a top 20 pick, because especially in the NBA draft.
For sure.
Like, I mean,
I'm just talking.
And he was in a stacked draft. No, and put it this way, he was also Jonathan. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying I think it's infinitely harder for AJ, especially because Jonathan Isaac was in a stacked draft class.
Right.
The draft last few years have been pretty bad. Let's be honest here. I mean, this last draft class looks awful.
Yeah. Last year's draft class wasn't too.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be honest here. Like, Vic Wembanyama is awesome. You have a few studs here and there, and Jalen Williams, whatever. But let's be honest here. Look, the draft class is from 2017 to, let's say, 2020. Or honestly, before, you go as far back as you want. But 2020 and before, like pre-COVID or whatever, it seems like those classes were just so much more star-studded than we see now. It could be because they haven't developed yet, but I don't think so. I think the talent isn't the same.
Yeah, I don't think the talent's the same either. Like, I mean, the recent years, those guys kind of in and out of the league, or you don't really hear from them much more, after their sophomore season in the league. So.
But that's why I think AJ Griffin's done, because let's be honest, what NBA GM's like, oh my gosh, AJ Griffin wants to come out of retirement. And no one's going to call him.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. He takes a few years off. They're like, oh, this guy's washed. They're not going to, his phone's aren't being lined up. Jonathan Isaac, for example, his potential is through the roof.
Absolutely.
I understand what you're saying with the situations being similar, but they're also not in the same way. So, I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, Amir, but I think it's pretty much a new life for him.
I think that's it for him.
And plus, like,
It's raps.
it's raps. Wrap it up.
The ministry, I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that he's just gonna stick with that, and it's gonna be it.
I just feel like he realized NBA life wasn't for him, because there's one thing to always be successful in the NBA, but there's another thing to struggle and then have to deal with the struggle and overcome it. Because it's a grind in the NBA, you know.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier to grind when you're doing 20 points a game than when you're averaging 2 points a game.
Yeah.
You know? And let's be honest here, when you're getting 2 points a game, I mean, you could see it even in the collegiate level. When you're like barely playing, you have to do 10 times the amount of the starters. You know, you can't do as much as the starters because then no one will care about you because the starters are doing just as much. So that's where I think was also a problem for him, is like, does he really even want to do the grind of barely even getting any playing time? Because is it even that rewarding at that point? So I like the move going to the ministry, and I hope he's, you know, finds a better headspace there, and good luck to him.
Yeah.
That 2017 draft class was insane.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Markel, Lonzo, Tatum, Josh Jackson, De'Aaron
Donovan
Fox,
Mitchell?
Dennis Smith, Malik Monk,
Yeah.
Bam, Justin Jackson. Yeah, no.
Everybody you hear about today.
But that's what I was trying to say.
Everybody
Jonathan
you hear about
Isaac
today.
is in a different situation because he was a top pick in that class.
Yeah.
Where's AJ Griffin getting in that class?
Oh, no, he probably wouldn't get drafted in this class.
But that's the
honestly.
point. Oh,
Yeah.
Josh Hart, second round pick in
Josh Hart.
2017.
Yeah.
So that's a great example. Or Kuzma. Kuzma was another
was
late
in his
pick.
draft. Frank Mason.
Exactly.
Dylan Brooks. Derek White was in his draft.
But that's what I'm
OG
trying to.
was in his draft.
But that's what I'm saying is like they don't, you know, although their paths were similar, they weren't. You know, 2017, man, 2019,
Yeah,
those classes
time
were
to be-
insane. Then we're not getting those again. Oh, another
This might be the
underrated
best
one.
draft class, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, did you even mention Jared Allen?
Jared Allen.
Yeah, it's
he's
another
on
one
here
I just
too,
thought
yeah.
of. Yeah, no, 2017, you go all day.
Yeah, John Collins was in here.
Yeah, it's just it's
Loaded. 2K Ferg.
Oh yeah, it goes on forever. I'm gonna have a hot take real quick. I don't know if I like the move of Vince Carter getting his number retired by the Raptors.
Why not?
What?
He left them. He left the city of Toronto and said, "I don't care about you guys. I'm going somewhere else."
That's a very hot take.
But put it this way: what about the guys who stuck it, who really cared about the city, really showed out for the city, and really loved the city? Their number should be retired.
Like,
Oh gosh, now you're gonna make me go my bad. No, because I mean, we're talking about the 90s and 80s here.
But you think of Vince Carter, you think of the Toronto.
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
there's not an
It's
image
like,
of Vince Carter
yeah.
unless
Because like the windmill dunks and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
You gotta retire.
So you
his influence on
all
the
right, put it
game
this way.
alone.
Then that means you're gonna have to retire KD with the Oklahoma Thunder.
Honestly, I don't know.
Then you're a hypocrite.
That's a
Then
good-
you're a
that's a good
hypocrite.
question.
Then you're a hypocrite. Because I don't
When you
believe.
think of KD, what do you think?
When I think of KD,
Yeah.
I think of Phoenix. Oh, Suns fan.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I hate to say it.
But you think
I hate to say
you
it,
mentioned
but
KD, you think of the Warriors and OKC.
Yeah.
You don't think about.
But I hate to say it. I think the only team that should retire his number is the Warriors. He
'cause
won a
he won
chip with the
championships there.
Warriors, and
Honestly,
and the
I mean,
terms
I
were
think
good.
from that crew, Westbrook should be the only one retired.
Exactly.
He's
But
fucking-
then Vince Carter shouldn't. If you think that, then Vince
he
Carter.
didn't have that on his team with the Raptors. He didn't have a Harden Westbrook.
Well, Harden wasn't Harden on the Thunder.
Yeah, but
He was not the beard and Harden. You know, this is different Harden. You know,
yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, this was a different Thunder team. Let's be honest here. I mean, they were the
Well,
best.
they're young. They're, you know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is with the Raptors, I think how you leave that team means everything. Because if you retire their number, not purely because of how great they were as a player, but what they did for the city. And
Fair.
I hate to say it. Put it this way. I would not retire LeBron jersey as a Cavs if he didn't come back and win the championship.
That's a fair take.
Exactly.
That's a
And
fair
that
take.
has to apply to Vince Carter as well.
So he had to win a championship to get retired?
If Vince Carter would have came back and won a chip, then yes. Or if he won a chip and didn't say I want, like, because it's a bad taste when you're
Where
just
would his jersey get retired then?
Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it would.
I don't think it would have.
Unless it's going to be in.
It's gotta be in
Well, it isn't. They are retiring.
Yeah, retiring.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think he should have stuck it out at least, or it got traded. I think just saying, you know what,
I want to leave.
I want to leave is just bad because you have to remember Toronto in the 90s wasn't really a place people wanted to come.
Yeah.
And I think that's tough when your best player is like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like if D-Book left the Suns before KD and everybody came, no one wanted to come to Phoenix, but he stayed. That took a lot from him because we were awful for years. And you know how many teams would have loved D-Book? But he stayed, and I think that means a lot. So I think that someone like Vince Carter shouldn't get rewarded for taking an easy way out, like KD did, or like LeBron did. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I feel like his jersey just gotta get retired.
Yeah, like his influence and impact is too great to not be retired somewhere.
Then you have to apply that for everywhere, and that's gonna be weird. I mean, then what? You retire Shaq as a son? Get his number retired as a son?
No, what? No, what did he do for the Suns?
It was.
Yeah,
no, all right.
Unrelated.
Yeah, no, the thing I'm trying to say is, all right. So are you only okay? All right, so now I'm mishearing you. So you're counting him for everything he's done at the Raptors, and that's it, right? And you're doing the same thing for KD. Because to me, KD was better on the Warriors than he was on the Thunder.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's what. But then that means he's just the Warriors.
So where was Vince Carter better?
No, Vince Carter. No, I'm not talking about Vince Carter.
Where was his
no, because we were talking about. You were saying that he's also going to get retired as a Thunder.
Right. Okay.
And I'm like,
he shouldn't.
Because that's why I was bringing the Shaq argument. I mean, you kind of want to go with the best team, like, or Jordan as a Wizard. I think it's stupid, but yeah. All right. Anyway, so you guys think he should retire? I don't. It's just I feel bad for Toronto. You don't care. It's whatever. Yeah. RJ is going to be in my seat on this one. I know that. RJ, but or Shy's another one who's going to be on my side for this one. But anyway, besides that, I'm going to go to someone who does deserve to get their jersey retired, and that's Derrick Rose, because he didn't leave Chicago. They left him. Sad as that sounds.
That's a fair take. I mean, you said it on the other podcast. Jordan, Chief Keef, Derrick Rose.
That's facts. That's facts. Tell me I'm wrong.
That's Chicago.
And then 4 and 5 is probably Lil Durk and Polo G.
Juice WRLD. Come on.
No.
Who?
No, I love Juice WRLD, but Juice WRLD's influence on Chicago isn't what you think. Anyway, I think D Rose deserves to get his jersey signed. I think D Rose deserves to get his jersey retired. It's awesome. Like I said, top 3 influential figures in Chicago history. Definitely. So I think that's important. Now, I guess you guys both agree with that take.
I agree with that. I mean, he's gonna be up there with Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
Scottie Pippen's not top 3 influential though.
No, definitely not influential. But I'm saying like as jersey retired, like
as Bulls, but I'm saying, and I think he's top 3 in Chicago in general for anything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's something,
and then his just influence on the game is
exponential.
I mean, you've seen it in so many lyrics with D-Rose. Lil Pump knows what's up.
He knows what's up. D-Rose, come on.
Yeah. Now. Okay, now I guess there's some Mutombo now. And that's it. Yeah. So, unfortunately, in the basketball world, we have seen, Mutombo pass away. I mean, that's one of the guys I feel like never had the greatest health, whether it be on the basketball court or after the court. It seemed like that was always a problem. Dying of brain cancer is always going to be a sad one because that's definitely painful. Like that's suffering. You don't want to see people suffer when they go. And he wasn't old. Like I think he was 58?
58 years
old. Which is pretty freaking young if you think about it. You know, he coaches like Greg Popovich is in his 70s and he's still coaching.
Yeah.
So he has so much more of a life to live, and it's unfortunate. We saw when Jerry West unfortunately passed, he lived a full life. Jerry West, died a lot later and did a lot more. I mean, not just as a coach, not just as a player, but he had a big role with upper management and stuff like that. There was so much Mutombo could have done if he had more time, but unfortunately it was cut short. And I think it's safe to say that what he did with the 76ers was probably the greatest, besides Dr. J, the greatest moments the Sixers had.
Yeah, he was incredible. I mean, you just look at the accolades: 8-time All-Star, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, All-Defense First Team 3 times, 2-time rebounding leader and blocks leader. He's great. And then his impact, like in the community and just like spreading the love of the game to like other countries, from Africa. So spreading the game over there and just, you can see in like all the interviews and, moments that people experience that they have interacting with him, talking with him, that he was really genuine. He really cared about other people and tried to treat others the right way. So it's a sad loss in the basketball community, but shout out to Kim.
Yeah, that's always going to be infamous. Thing is, though, it's like, when you think of the no, you think of Mutombo.
Oh yeah, come on.
You know what's weird? I think
was doing that right before the thing.
Yeah.
See, my problem is I think it's because I'm a football guy. I think it's JJ Watt. I think that's the thing. Is like I didn't get into basketball until I was like in middle school. Because like hip hop and stuff. But like I never really watched like my dad didn't care about basketball, so it really wasn't a thing that I really picked up on. So I mean I think like the first years of basketball was like when Kobe was like retiring, like when he played the Jazz and like that. So like I said, I think my first 2K was 2K14. So that's like the start of when I paid attention to basketball was 2014. So that's not that long ago if you think about it. I mean, it makes me feel old because it's over a decade ago, but it's not that old when you're thinking of Mutombo. But yeah, obviously I know the Mutombo no, but to me,
all I think about whenever I see the finger wave is he has a commercial where he's slapping a cereal box, like he's in the grocery store and they're trying to throw stuff in the cart. He's just slapping it. He's like, no. Because he got that raspy voice. So.
I'm gonna quiz you now.
Oh Lord.
Mutombo was in a lyric for Juice WRLD. What was the line?
You're supposed to be the Juice WRLD guy.
Because I know from heart.
I'm thinking like
I know from heart.
It's probably. I'm only thinking unreleased.
It's released.
It's released.
You want me to give you the song?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Doomsday with YB and Cordae.
I was literally just listening to that song on the way here.
You give up?
Oh my, yeah, I give up.
It's not in my house. You look like Mutombo in the face. I got him.
That's crazy. I was literally just
because I just thought of Mutombo. I'm like, when I think Mutombo, I think of Doomsday by Juice. But I thought it was funny, but that shows his influence,
absolutely.
Not in my house, Mutombo.
Yeah, nobody can block, not even Dikembe. Come on.
Unfortunately, as Juice WRLD says, he's not the most attractive individual in the world. So,
all right, no dissing.
I'm sorry dissing him on his deathbed, but it's kind of crazy. But we love you, Mutombo, and we hope you rest in peace.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Just Talks. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, Instagram, anywhere you can find us, please.